We are live, but like 20 seconds delayed. They're just gonna have the questions for Florida are gonna be.
It's not a great idea for questions.
Yeah.
Anybody?
5 o'clock.
So I could change the entire setup to a phone, but I know it would stream better quality. I just don't know if I can do it in 3 minutes.
Yes.
That would be probably better. Then we don't have to. What, the video won't match up? So I'm going to leave the stream as is. And when my data gets shit on, it's all everybody else's fault when my wife finds it. It is weird when you walk by much later. It's like the mic is gone.
Yeah, I'll try to clip it.
Is the mic? I will try to
go on both of these.
2 and then 3 for questions.
And then you have 2 here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that'll give the mic. Or do you just want them to talk real loud? Okay.
If I have more comedy, I could have
There's name. You guys tell me home. Interesting that the Amici team is not coming.
A lot of technology.
Hello. Everyone can start getting ready for the pitch competition part of the event. Go ahead and take your seats.
This is going to look good 20 seconds later. Clip.
All right, thank you for coming to the Student Entrepreneur Showcase. It's now time to start the pitch competition.
Mike, so they can hear. Oh.
Yeah, like I said, thank you for coming. We're about to start the pitch competition part of the event where teams are able to compete to enter into the final round of the Walleye Tank held on December 7th, which we encourage you all to attend. There's a QR code in the left inside of your program. So the first few teams will be presenting from Florida campus of Mayo Clinic as part of our entrepreneurial class. The other teams will all be presenting from here. Teams who present here, when you are up next to pitch, please come up to this side of this table. When it's your turn to pitch, I will be clipping this lapel mic onto you so that the YouTube recording can hear you, and then give you this handheld mic so that you can be heard by the audience in the crowd. And I will give you a slide clicker to progress through your slides, as we're going to ask people to stay up in front of this area so you can be caught on the camera. And yeah, I think that's everything. So our first team is from Mayo Clinic, Florida. Neurocognition team from Florida. All right. Are you guys there?
Wow. You're watching the YouTube stream. You can't watch it. 10 seconds live. Technology.
What are they watching? Are they watching themselves in that camera? Or are they
That's what we're trying to figure out. They were told not to.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so they're seeing that. So we're going to stare at their slides here. Oh. Alright, well, I think this should be it. So wait 30 seconds into the link where we start right now. So not late. So, but they're getting in 30 seconds. They can see us. They can hear what it is now. It's just that we see it on the YouTube thing that we took. Oh, so do we have all the questions here? Okay, so you guys ready? No. That? Ready? So the problem that we want to solve is patients that get brain surgery in the immediate post-operative need very frequent evaluations because they are very prone to getting complications at this point. So this consumes valuable time and human resources and is prone to inconsistency by different examiners. So NeuroCog, our solution, is an app that will be installed on the tablet. These devices have all the instruments required for the app to perform a basic neurological examination. They have a camera, they have a microphone, they have a screen, and they have a speaker. So basically what this app will do is it's going to evaluate the basic neurological function on the patients pre and post-operatively, and it will be done as frequently as the neurosurgeon requires it to be done. Any change that is found on the neurological examination will be notified to the personnel. So why now? Well, phones and tablets are connected to the internet. Most age groups own and effectively use a smartphone or a tablet today, so these devices are always carried by patients. Artificial intelligence has unlocked new tools like facial recognition, text recognition, voice recognition that will allow us to evaluate the neurological function. So this is a scheme of how the app works. So why us? So we're a team that works here at Mevo Clinic. We have clinical experience, entrepreneurship experience, and patenting and innovation experience. So the market for us is 13.8 million surgeries performed every year on the whole world, and there's 50,000 active neurosurgeons. So this is a big market. We can make a great impact with this application and follow up patients after the surgery. Thank you.
I'm not taking questions from the panel. I mean,
I'm not going to say if they ask questions, we'll have the questions relayed to us.
I mean, I'm sure we get the questions through typing with them because of the text problems we're having. But
Can you hear me?
but you
Probably still hear me. Yeah, for sure. You should be able to.
Go ahead and say it.
Okay, great numbers. Very brief introduction. I think here we want to know how many 13.8 million operation actually translate into actual cash, and how much percent of that cash actually translate into the revenue if this product ever made into the market.
How many of the 30.8 operations translate into actual cash, and how much of that cash transfers to revenue? Okay, so that's something that we have not tapped into because every procedure in neurosurgery has a different cost depending on the cost, how long it takes, and the potential complications that it might have. So first, we would need to work on the field with a clinical experience to get to these numbers. We do not have the answer to that yet.
So who else is doing it? Who else is bringing a solution like that to market? And why are you there?
Is that might be more questions? And the question is, who else is bringing a solution like this to the market, and why are you better than them? Okay, so far from the research that we have done, we did not find anybody else that is using these applications on tablets and phones to follow neurological examinations. I think we are a team that is young, that has a lot of energy, and that is on the vanguard of technology. So this will definitely make us a very competitive team if there's anybody else out there that is having the same idea.
Have you guys thought about in terms of how this information is going to migrate or talk to current EMRs for hospitals?
I'm also impressed with the answers, I'm sure. All right, last question. Have you thought about how this information is going to talk to current EMR?
Electronic medical records.
In electronic medical records.
So far, we just plan it as an app that will notify the staff if there is any change in the neurological evaluation of the patient. But definitely, that is one of our future aims. It's a great idea. It's something that we add as a score or monitoring into the electronic medical record that is written almost automatically by the app.
All right. Thank you. Let's switch
Thank
to the next team. CPR. There are many talking about my face. Stand on the cheek. Ready? Whenever you're ready.
So CPR is difficult even for trained providers. It's especially difficult in only one-person resuscitation. Currently, there is a device on the market that provides feedback for ventilation or verbal assistive instruction. Our solution is a device that will provide immediate feedback, verbal guidance, ensure airway patency, and will communicate and have compatibility with AEDs. Why now? The American Heart Association is assisting with implementing legislation nationwide that will require CPR certification to graduate high school. In addition to state legislation requirements for CPR training, all 50 states have enacted laws and/or regulations requiring that public gathering places have AEDs available that would be compatible with this device. Currently, the survivor rate is 12% for cardiac arrest events outside of hospitals and only 24.8% inside hospitals. Our target market would be schools, daycares, gyms, doctors' offices, and public gatherings where AED devices are legally mandated at this time. We are active healthcare providers with various backgrounds in inpatient and outpatient care and research here at the Mayo Clinic. Our future plans are to build a team to include engineers and technical support, develop multiple prototypes, conduct customization of resuscitation cycles based on the data provided by the AED and our ventilation device.
Questions? All right, questions.
Nobody's looking at them all day. Extra cheer. Questions, sir?
So you talked.
You take my help.
So the question from the judges here, you talk about the incidence of cardiac arrest. Do you have data that shows the inadequacy of oxygen flow during CPR that suggests that there's a problem with the way CPR is currently administered, that this would be solving?
Incidence of cardiac arrest, do you have data about lack of oxygen flow to CPR?
We don't have data specifically on hand at this time that I'm able to provide. However, there is an issue, where ventilation is not not provided, or it's not considered a priority, compressions are with the American Heart Association, which does, provide proof that this is an issue, that ventilation is not even being addressed because it can't be performed properly. So at this point, the assistive device is needed, because ventilation is ultimately important, especially with the survival rates. And then even after survival rates, we have, cognitive issues or neurological issues after resuscitation.
So I have a question from Judge here.
Next question.
I vaguely remember you mentioned something about regulations. So in my very brief understanding that, have you ever talked with state or national regulatory mechanisms? And for each one of the safety product that you are going to implement into the school, they have to be some sort of regulatory mechanism involved. And are you guys working on it?
Have you ever talked to state or national regulators about safety, especially in the schools?
Yes, we actually interviewed daycares and other layman providers that were CPR and not CPR certified, which they agreed that they were uncomfortable with performing CPR and delivering ventilation.
All right, we'll bring up the next team.
Last question coming up. All right, let's see forecast. Yeah. Yep, you can just go ahead.
Our product is called Forecast. We were inspired by one of our teammates' significant others who was recently diagnosed with the disease and struggles with it, and we want to do something. Before I begin, the premise of our product can be seen in the logo. Type 1 diabetes patients have to constantly monitor and react to changes in blood glucose, and this isn't ideal. Our product will allow patients to predict and prevent these changes. This disease affects millions of people. Is manual and reactionary. Patients can only be notified and react to changes after something has gone wrong, which is not ideal. This is a growing problem that existing technology has not been able to solve. Forecast is the next generation of continuous glucose monitoring. It is a software that uses a novel deep learning algorithm to predict and prevent glucose dysregulation. It works by taking inputs from these monitors to create a predictive model of blood glucose levels that allows patients to proactively take insulin to prevent these changes altogether. Forecast leverages data from existing glucose monitors through an app in a HIPAA-compliant manner, and this software can be marketed as an app and also to research institutions to ultimately minimize the cost of type 1 diabetes management. Our team has the unique medical and engineering expertise to achieve this. We have previous experience in device development and medical innovation, and we have access and collaboration to multiple institutions. Thank you.
All right, we'll take questions.
Questions?
How are you going to make money? Who are you selling the product to, and who pays for it?
How are you going to make money? Who are you selling the product to, and who pays for it?
So right now, our target are the customers, and we'll generate the revenue by marketing the app to the customers, to the patients, who are the customers. Sorry.
Next question.
do you guys have anybody in your team in terms of who has a very expertise in AI?
What's your team of expertise in AI?
Do we have expertise in AI?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have expertise in AI. As you can see on this slide, Archie and Alex really have the computer and electrical engineering expertise. So they provide that expertise.
So this is crowded space. There's a lot of different companies that are working in this space and developing apps that do more than monitoring blood levels, but in factor in lifestyle and daily activities and food intake. Tell us about the competition and where you stack up against what you know about the competition.
The diabetes space is crowded. Lots of apps being developed. What does your competition look like, and how do you use that?
So from our review of the literature and existing technology, there really doesn't exist a technology that uses a preventive model in diabetes. And on top of that, there's no existing technology that uses a deep learning algorithm to address this and create a preventive model. So this is a space that has not been tapped into, and that's really low-hanging fruit for us. We think we can really make a difference here.
All right, that'll be our last question.
Great. All right. Wait, one more last question. What's that? Oh, no, what's the last question? Sure. This is that. There you go. All right. Thank you, guys. We kind of switched.
All right, thank you to our board teams. Before we switch to our local teams, where hopefully we'll have a little bit easier time with the technology, I want to give a chance for our walleyes to briefly introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I'm the founder and owner of Rochester Home Infusion.
Hi, I'm Lee. I'm a lab manager at the postdoc here at
Just doing more talking. I'm kind of split.
Hello, can
Let's
you
try to stay close together. Sure. Okay, yeah.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the Director of Business Development.
We'll do that. Perfect. And do I just flip it on? So,
All right, we'll have our first team from locally, Measles.
Do you want us to stand up? Where do you want us to stand?
over here.
Camera.
Let you go. Yeah.
You're starting.
Well, I'm mic'd up.
That's not. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Which? All right. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Ian, along with my partner Logan and I are here to present Malleus Intelligence. We are a hearing aid technology company. First and foremost, I want to give a little context to our innovation. As you may or may not know, regulated hearing aids, and they are due to hit the OTC sales channels in about 1 to 3 years. That said, by about 2020, they're estimating that about 45 million people will be mildly to moderately hearing deficient.
And to give you a little context for the kind of things we're hearing from people as we... Can you advance the slide for us?
Tech issues?
Yeah.
We thought we would be okay.
Thank you.
Cool.
To give you a little context, this is a direct quote from a hearing user we've talked to quite recently. Going to the audiologist is a pain in my ass. I just wish I could have the autonomy to tune and tinker with my device to best fit my needs, instead of what the audiologist thinks is best. So there's a lot of frustration out here in the hearing aid space, and we're looking to solve this problem.
So what is that problem? Based on our initial VOC research, we're hearing plain and simple that there is a sorry guys. So based on this VOC research that we've initially conducted, the marketplace is plain and simple tone deaf to the user's needs. Firstly, we're seeing that as we heard, there's a huge frustration around the audiologist's control of the marketplace and distribution, in fitting and sales. Secondly, we're also hearing that there's an unmet need of about 30 million people with mild hearing deficiencies that aren't even exploring the traditional pathways.
So we propose to use artificial intelligence paired with Bluetooth connected devices to solve this problem. So thank you.
We ran out of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah. That was a little choppy.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take questions. We didn't get to our market segmentation, but we'll open the floor. Sorry again for the tech issues. I guess the clicker wasn't working.
I'll throw a softball. Since you haven't been able to tell, how are we going to make money?
How are we going to make money?
Absolutely. Well, could we go down a little bit? Yes. So to get into it at a high level, this is market segmentation. We're early in our process, but we're seeing that there's about 8 million people in terms of a possibility here. And so we would plan to talk to manufacturers and explain that this is a target marketplace currently, and then the non-users that I alluded to. That's estimated about 2/3 of the current marketplace.
So we would create a platform technology that we would then license to the
OEMs.
Manufacturers who would then integrate this with their devices. So that would be how we would make money.
And
So
how do you know they're actually going to allow you?
How do we know?
Sorry?
Yeah.
So right now there's the big five names in the hearing aid space, like the Starkeys, but there's also the new players coming in from the other side with the hearables like Bose and Nuheara. The big five aren't likely to like this kind of technology because it goes around their existing sales channels. However, we can start to enter from the hearable side on the over-the-counter market to eventually likely be acquired by one of these bigger companies.
Where are you at in technology development?
So the algorithm, the core algorithm that I want to work with is actually already in place, already implemented, and has been tested in spinal cord stimulation, actually. So right now we're actually at the point where we're getting our hands on these hearing aid devices, integrating the algorithm with the hearing aid, and being able to test it with users. That's it. Thank you.
Might be dead batteries on my clicker.
Sorry.
One percent of wheelchairs failed to pass disinfectant tests. 35% of respondents were worried about the lack of guidelines even to clean wheelchairs. In recent university studies by the University of Arizona, they found that 50% of shopping carts tested at 85 shopping centers around the Southwest of the USA tested positive for E. coli, and 73% of the carts tested positive for other bacteria such as coliform, even fecal matter. Obviously, nobody wants to be around these such germs, which is why I created the UV canopy. And so what it is a tunnel-shaped structure with ultraviolet lights at the UVC radiation. These UVC lights are germicidal, so they kill and eliminate German bacterial colonies upon contact. So you push a shopping cart or a wheelchair through the UV canopy and it would come out the other side within seconds, completely sanitized. Inside the UV canopy is reflective light or reflective foil that bounces around the light rays, allowing for a complete 360-degree sanitation. So why the UV canopy? It's more efficient than sterilizing wipes. It eliminates human error, so we're not relying on entry-level employees to do all the cleaning for us. We know that with a company having the UV canopy, their wheelchairs are completely clean. And we're not relying on dangerous cleaning chemicals that can be harmful to the surrounding environment. Why now? It's essential for healthcare environments to say peak sanitation, and that's why the UV canopy comes into play. Like I said, it gets rid of human error, so we're not worrying about is the wheelchair completely clean. And nobody wants to be in places where these bacteria live. And the market is not just limited to healthcare environments. It can be daycare centers for toys, airports for the various seating around the terminals, schools for cleaning desks. It ranges. And I plan to generate profit through unit sales and subscriptions for replacement parts of the UV canopy. That's time. Oh, thank you. When you take questions, oh yeah, sorry.
Sure. So my question is very straightforward. You have a lot of customer segments, and each customer have different channels. You have to solidify one, otherwise you will get yourself overwhelmed even before your business started. So I would say that between these three, you listed wheelchair, shopping cart, and hospital equipment. Which one you think is more likely will be your actually targeted?
That is a very good question. My primary target is healthcare environments such as rehabilitation centers or nursing homes, because that's where our most vulnerable populations are. I do not want to target hospitals right off the bat because people already assume that hospitals are at peak levels of cleanliness. Whereas nursing homes, I can go in and say, hey, are you interested in using this product like I did in Winona at St. Anne's? I said, would you be interested in a trial period once I get this ready? And they agreed that they would be. So my primary target would be nursing homes and rehabilitation centers.
So what kind of study have you done in terms of backing up your claim that within how many seconds do you expose the wheelchair in UVC, because it is dependent in terms of the UVC?
Yeah, that is another great question. Yeah, different volatility. I'm currently working with the St. Mary's Science Department to test different volatilities of the lights. We're finding that more intense lights can even range to a second and a half of sanitation, whereas smaller ones, such as other items in the market, such as little wands, can take up to 5 minutes of you just waving a little wand over an item to clean it. So larger, more volatile lights can kill the germs and bacteria within seconds. Is that kind of what you were getting at? Sorry.
So if you had funding, what would be the first three things you would do?
Yeah, so my next step, I financed it out. I need around $24,000 to build 10 UV canopies. And then following that with the money, I plan on attending trade shows next summer where I can market it out and try to sell on hand at these trade shows.
So have you spoken to nursing homes and your target market in terms of if they actually have space for this canopy?
Yes, so St. Anne's in Winona agreed to it. And on top of that, the Homestead. I'm from Illinois. There's a nursing home right down the street from me. And I talked to them and they said they would totally be a product they would be interested in a trial period of using to see how it would work. Thank you very much.
Zach, can you make sure the mic is on?
Hi, my name's Alyssa. I'm the CEO of the Nano Dropper. So we've all used eye drops before, right? You tilt your head back, put in the drop, and that little bit trickles down your cheek. Well, did you know that those drops are 5 times the capacity of the human eye? And that wasted medication accounts for glaucoma treatments costing up to $500 per bottle. This is a problem, especially for low-income patients or if you run out before your next refill. Patients are having to choose between financial stability and their vision. Our solution is the Nano Dropper, a simple and elegant eye drop adapter that reduces the drop to something that your eye can actually absorb. Our universal fit, patent-pending device decreases both waste and cost, ultimately increasing access to these expensive medications. In just a year, our company has gained national attention through ProPublica, been incorporated into an international grant with Johns Hopkins, and we are making partnerships with the benchmark-setting leaders in the space. By April, we will be delivering directly to eye care clinics where our patients can pick up a Nano Dropper right after their appointment for $12.99, and with a profit margin of 86%, we are looking at $90 million in revenue just from the US glaucoma market alone. By 2020, 80 million people will be diagnosed with glaucoma, and we want to be there to make sure that they have access to their medication. But to enter into this multi-billion-dollar industry, we are looking for passionate investors who are willing to take on our mission of reducing waste, increasing access, and promoting eye health. Thank you.
So these are reusable, buy once, use multiple times?
So,
are they disposable?
So they're disposable, but it will be made out of medical grade silicone, so it could potentially be reused, but we time use. So you put it onto the bottle when you first get your prescription, and then you throw it away when the bottle is done.
So you said that you have 90% profit margin.
86%, yes. 86% margin.
Okay. How do you get to that figure? Help me understand the calculation there.
Yeah, so our COGS are about $1.50. We would be manufacturing. There's a manufacturer in here in Minnesota, and we factored in our costs for packaging, sterilizing, which we are also doing with a third party, and that would be distribution to the clinics, and that's per unit.
So some of these bottles, really, you can't uncap it. So your dropper just sits on top of the actual original nozzle?
Yeah, so I can show you a prototype that we have, but you really don't have to do anything else with the eyedropper. You just take off the cap, and our threads match the threads of the original manufacturer bottle. So you just fit it on there. It comes with its own cap, so you only have to install it once.
Okay. And then you said you basically keep it in that same bottle until it's gone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some of the problems with a lot of these droppers, when you actually, a lot of tests have been done,
Mm-hmm.
is that it tends to kind of, well, you tend to grow a lot of bacteria
Yes.
on the very tip.
Yeah.
So if you're going to save more drugs,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll have growth towards the end. Have you guys done any testing?
So the preservatives are supposed to be good for 3 months, and that's what we are going to be telling our customers to do. And a lot of the glaucoma specialists that we've talked to said that they recommend that their prescriptions stay in the fridge because a lot of these patients have really poor vision. So they can't tell when they've hit their eye with a drop. So by refrigerating it, not only are they getting that sensation
it will be extending that preservative as well, or the shelf life, once it's opened.
So what medicines or what drugs is this there for? Or what's the first, how are you marketing? Or how will you be marketing?
Yeah, so we picked glaucoma out of all the expensive eye drop medications out there for two reasons. One, due to the really, really high costs. The average bottle is about $350, goes up to $500 per bottle, and a lot of these patients are paying out of pocket because of the high incidence rate of bottle exhaustion. It's about 25% of the cases where you run out before your insurance will cover the next refill. So it's either you pay the $500 a week left into the month, or you're losing vision every drop that you miss. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Here. You good? All right. Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Beck and I am a sophomore at St. Mary's University of Minnesota, and I am the creator of the Ruby Aid. Did you know within the past 8 years, the use of walking aids has risen 50% and are expected to rise even more with the aging of our baby boomers? Now picture this, your grandma just got a hip replacement and she's walking with a cane. She's out and about and has to use the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom, right into the handicap stall, and unsure where to place her cane, she places it on the floor, which is very unsanitary. Not only is this unsanitary, but now she can't even reach her walking aid because of her surgery. As a solution, I have created the Ruby Aid. I've constructed a full market analysis and have found that this product is the first of its kind for bathrooms. An easy and convenient place to store this product would be in all handicap bathroom stalls. Simply place your device into the C-shaped holder and adjust. To release, simply pull out your walking aid. I am a volunteer for hospice and have seen a first-hand need for this product. The goal for hospice patients are to be as active and independent as long as possible, and a walking aid helps them do this. A walking aid can be seen as a safety device, but in the case of a bathroom, it can be seen as very unsanitary and inconvenient. Thank you.
Can you show us how it works?
Yep, sure thing. Okay, thank you. All right, so here is our device, or my device. You simply would place this onto the wall, and then you take your walking aids such as your cane or your crutch, simply place in and then adjust the cover. And then to release, there would be a button along the side where you just push that, and then out goes your walking aid.
How do you know that thing is going to adhere on any wall?
To adhere to the wall, I'm playing around with having it be either Velcroed or like a suction cup type device. So like the GPSs that stick to your window of your car, I want to have a little lever that comes down like that as well. So something easy to make sure they stay on the wall. I can pass this around if you would like. Yes.
I may have missed that, but are you thinking that this is going to be bought by the user, or are you imagining that in every bathroom in America?
I would ideally, that's okay. I would ideally like it to be built or bought by the company itself. So each person that would have a bathroom in their business would have a handicap bathroom stall, and then they would have that device securely in there. Otherwise, I am also playing around with an adjustable device, so you're able to keep that per se in your back pocket or your purse, where you're able to put it not only in the bathroom, but in a car, on the table, or anything like that.
So we just learned a few minutes ago that a high percentage of grocery carts have E. coli
Right.
on them, and you're proposing to put these in a bathroom. So And you have to touch it to release the cane.
Right.
Right. So how do you solve that?
Well, I was thinking of the way, I think it would be a lot more sanitary to have it against the wall than the bathroom, just because your feet are on the bathroom, you've got other type of germs and stuff as that. Number-wise, I am not exactly sure on the exact number of germs that would be, but yes.
I probably wouldn't do the Velcro
You wouldn't do the Velcro? Right.
because not all places have Velcro.
Yep. Just an idea that I had.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you. There you go.
Don't mind. Just place that in your pocket.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nivaldo Romero, and I am the founder of Intelligent Parking Solutions. We offer a product that is based on data analytics to increase the parking efficiency of healthcare organizations. So there is a huge need for parking services in the healthcare world for both patients and staff. Right now is the ideal time to start looking for more efficient solutions for parking, and also lower efficiency from the staff members. So we're putting together a team that is composed of healthcare managers, healthcare professionals, and researchers to tackle this problem. We're the first team to put together this kind of service. We're a data-driven software that will use cameras located in parking spaces to identify where a car is parked and a park is not. Then we'll use algorithms to teach a machine to understand these patterns. And then we'll put this data together to understand parking patterns from both patients and staffs and find more efficient ways to improve the parking services. This will be delivered using an app that can be used by both patients and staff members. And this is a multi-million-dollar opportunity. In the UK, parking revenue led to the production of £174 million. In Canada, hospitals actually rely on parking services for their budget. And in the US, poor parking services lead to no-shows, which accounts for 150 billion losses every year. Most solutions in healthcare and research are driven by data, so why wouldn't your parking services? Thank you. Questions?
So how do you monetize this? What's the business plan?
Side.
Is it on a per car basis? Is it a per installation basis?
Yeah, so the question is, how do I monetize this? So it is important to understand that we are not a parking service. We are a data service. So this will be in a contract base with healthcare organizations. So we'll form a contract with the company for a certain period of time, and then we will develop these algorithms to develop the app so the staff members and the patients can use it for free. But we're charging the hospitals for it.
So are you solving for less time to find parking? Because the number of parking spots you're not going to solve.
Yeah, and that is, yeah.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, so that was our biggest issue. There is no more space to build parking ramps. However, I talked to several organizations and there is no data about this. They're like, we know how many people come here every day, but we don't know when. We don't know how we're using these parking spaces. And if you said, oh, I wonder if there is a certain parking spot in a certain place, nobody knows. So this will be the first software of this kind in a healthcare organization.
How far are you at in terms of the software? Is that a demo or that's just something with a Google.
Yeah, so I made the graphs myself. And actually, yeah, it didn't copy well, but thank you, Macintosh. But actually, there is some softwares out there using in different settings, so we'll basically adopting these softwares to our needs. But again, I'm putting together the team right now.
What does ride sharing do to your business model where patients are just dropped off?
So there is two parts to that answer. So as for ride sharing, yeah, it helps the local market. But for example, for patients who are traveling from different states, that doesn't really solve that part of the issue. And it also has to do with I think a big component is the ability to understand the parking needs of your institution. You will be able to see, for example, how long it takes for surgery patients versus chemo patients to be in the parking lot, and eventually find better parking solutions for all these needs.
Short, quick question. How do you address that if that spot is available and two people use your app at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, there is no way around it. As soon as the a car occupies that parking spot, it will be taken off the app.
Thank you. Can I just test that it advances? Awesome. Okay. Thank you. So if everyone's ready. Hi, I'm Carla, and I'm representing my team at Hands Off. So we spoke to people who work in laboratories, lab managers, and they stress that they spend time, and it's misused, in things that are restocking of laboratory materials of nature, and they actually have costly mistakes. Sorry, this advanced a little bit quick. So some mistakes that they make are expired and unused materials, which are buried. The labs have no idea that those are there. They're legacy materials. Or they're mislabeled, they're misplaced, or they're reallocated into unlabeled containers. There's shortages that then lead to downtime and productivity. So, wow, that didn't come through at all, sorry. So the four main pain points that we got from customer discovery are that things that are out in the market right now are not customizable. The workflow isn't being managed at all. It takes a lot of manual data entry, and it doesn't really save time or money. And it's not streamlined and efficient enough. So we wanted to do this and provide data usage and statistics to people to give them control over what's happening in their lab across users without having to communicate on a daily basis with those users. And they get intelligent alerts onto when they should be restocking and buying materials. So how much are labs losing? They're losing about 10,000 a year, but they're spending almost close to 300,000 a year. And there's 800 research institutions in the US alone with hundreds of these labs. So Quartzy and benchling are some solutions, but they always require manual data entry, and that's something that we're trying to get away from so that it becomes an almost streamlined process. So you come into the lab, you sit down, and you look at your dashboard, and you see you have active orders, you can see expiration dates that are upcoming, and you can look at the levels of different kinds of materials in your lab. Things that are in critical stock are put into your cart to order, and you're also given an idea of how many things are going through the lab, what needs maintenance. And our team is able to address this because we know the customers, we are the researchers that would use this. So thank you for your time. I apologize for the technical difficulty with the slides.
Thank you. I'm intrigued because I am a lab manager myself. Actually, I know there are private competitors in the area as well. One of the vendors is called Quants, and they actually use something like the Mevo's internal sales. You buy through them, they track everything for you. So how do you do a competitive differentiation with your competitors?
So I'm sure that if you have something through Mayo, not every institution is Mayo,
And independent labs don't have access to this kind of large data unless they buy into a software that has data. So we'd be providing the same Mayo services essentially in terms of tracking for small labs. And you still have to go in every day and decide what comes into the lab and where it is. It's all like seamlessly, basically you would take a picture of what comes in and things are uploaded directly onto the app. So you don't have to do any data entry and it's there forever. So whatever is used or taken out, it's being taken account of through things that we want to introduce like dash buttons or other solutions where when you use something, it's automatically taken out of stock instead of you communicating with your lab manager that something is running out.
How does the data get in terms of expiration dates and orders that have been placed? If you're interfaced with ordering systems, or does that have to be manually entered?
So, go ahead.
No, so we were thinking about, or we are in a process of doing this solution using text recognition from photography, so we would just like take a picture of the actual thing and that would fill everything in for you.
So another thing is you are saving the money because things will expire or not. My biggest concern is for most labs, they have freezers and stuff. Things that get lost instead of not expired. Basically, they are somewhere in the lab, just no one knows where. How do you address that? Use the QR code.
Yeah, so we couldn't explain it all in the presentation, but we have basically a holistic system that you adopt as a lab. So you have from the beginning when something comes into the lab, you take a picture, it's imported all the information of what it is when it expires. Then if you decide to realiquot that, all you have to do is place whatever, either a button that we envision or just a QR code, something that you can scan with your phone, wherever it's going to be. Once it's there, if you use it or see it that it runs out, you scan that it's there. So if it's a fridge, you have to have it organized by what's in that fridge. No one will ever forget that it's there because when you go to the fridge, there's a list of things that are in that fridge and where they are.
So how is the inventory taken out when you take out whatever lab materials?
So you would either scan for the area where you're at should have a code or a button. We haven't decided yet from customers what would be the best way. So you would say what you used and then it automatically tracks levels.
So in essence, the inventory system is really only going to be successful if you have compliant people.
Yes, but we are already assuming that there's somebody in place in the lab, like a lab manager, that's given salary and benefits to do this, and it's just so much of their time when they also have a scientific role that they would help in the compliance because it's work off of their hands, and it hands off, and it gives the lab sort of that,
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here, and then this goes where?
Yes, any pocket.
Okay, and then how do you do this? Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for giving our team the opportunity to talk about our product, Digital NAN, which we strongly feel will empower patients worldwide. So, how many of you have faced a problem in accessing healthcare wherever you live? I'm sure everyone has, because I have, and based on our customer experience, that there are many issues that face patients in order to get access to healthcare, and all these inefficiency for delivering care not only frustrate patients, but also leads to around $70 billion wasted annually in US because of this inefficiency. So inefficient care leads to a frustrated patient, and we want to solve this problem by empowering patients worldwide, no matter where you live, using our product Digital NAN, which differentiate itself from other competitors based on two principles. One is the Mayo Clinic principle that patient needs come first, and by accessing to Mayo Clinic's years of clinical experience and their diagnostic algorithm that is available to anybody, will be available to anybody worldwide. So our product will allow patients worldwide to have on-demand access to Mayo Clinic medical expertise. They will have they will be able to take informed decision about what option of care they want. Then appointment scheduling will be integrated into the system so that they can schedule an appointment with this system with the healthcare provider that's there in their geographical location, and it will also allow follow-up. Now going under the hood, this service will be given to users, which will be patients across platforms, and the customer of this thing would be healthcare institutions that will use this to give good care, efficient care to their patients. And yeah, so Mayo Clinic Business Solutions licenses their Mayo Clinic algorithm to worldwide, and we can use that in order to provide diagnostic capabilities to the patient. So, so it will be like a symptom checker. So they will have symptoms, and then it will go through the algorithm, and in the end they will have option of what all care would they need. Can they be helped by self-care, or they need urgent care, or they have to visit the doctor. And then once they decide, this thing will take them to, so it will ask where do you live, and based on their location, it will have access to the medical institution over there with their appointment scheduling capability. So right there, they can do it. They don't have to wait on phone to call somebody and wait for like 40 minutes to even get heard. So it will be on demand.
So the digital nun is really like a triage nurse.
Yeah. Triage nurse with the appointment capability plus follow-up.
So this sounds like the digital nun is you're using the AI is giving a preliminary diagnosis.
Yes.
What does the regulatory pathway look for that?
So right now there are several companies that are working on it, and also using Mayo Clinic AIs in order to get this into the market. So we are still working on what all regulatory issues are there, but this has been in practice in UK and in UAE. So people are working on it, and we are still early in development, so we will work on that.
Best case scenario, when is this available to the market?
When is it available? Right now, our competitor is still working on it. So we are banking on our principle that patient come first, and we will find the best time when we think it can come. So we are still early in development.
So what is the business model then? Is it a subscription by patient?
By
the medical institution.
It is subscription based.
So,
by the medical institution?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the patients would access the online or app-based care, and so the medical institution would basically use this as a way to get patients. So we're trying to improve their efficiency as well as increase their revenue through that model.
Because right now, based on our customer interviews, people wait up to 40 minutes in order to get heard, and sometimes they don't even want to do it. So this will increase efficiency too.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rehan Khan from the team Morbillivax, and we are proposing an oral vaccine for measles. So why there is a need for oral vaccine for measles? Despite the vaccination, measles still kills 100,000 people worldwide, and mostly under the age of 5. And in the US also, the average number of cases of measles have gone up in the recent time, and that's why we need a herd immunity which can be achieved through mass vaccination using these oral vaccines. And it can also reduce the pain and the discomfort during vaccination. And if we talk about the numbers of the needle phobia, 50 million Americans are affected by this needle phobia, and making it to the top 10 American fear. So if we look at the CDC report, we can see that there is an increased reported cases of measles in the recent times, including several outbreaks, and including the Minnesota outbreak in 2017, including the unvaccinated Somalian population. So coming to the proposed solution, as we know that these measles virus are envelope viruses, so they cannot withstand the hostile environment in the gut, and so that's why I'm proposing a delivery system consisting of nanoparticles or the nanorobots, which are capable of withstanding this hostile environment in the gut. And we are also integrating that nanorobots with the locking system, so that they will specifically deliver these viruses to the immune cells present in the intestinal mucosa. So talking about the business feasibility of this idea, one thing is to be noted that this will be the first oral vaccine in the category of envelope viruses. And if we look at the existing 2 oral vaccines, such as the polio and the rotavirus vaccine, which are in the category of non-envelope viruses, they are generating a huge revenues and growing at a rate of 5%.
That's time.
Yeah, we can also, yeah, sorry.
Nanoparticle or the nanorobot that would basically
So it's just an idea. So we are looking for the funding opportunities so that that idea will become a reality.
Do you currently work in?
So I have worked in the oncolytic virotherapy field. So I have an expertise in that area. We use the engineered viruses to treat the cancer cells, and they are in the phase 2 clinical trials.
So why measles? You know, I think I saw 100 cases per year.
Yeah.
To suggest that the current process of vaccinations isn't all that bad. So why measles?
Yeah, because due to international traveling, the measles cases has gone increase up in recent. So when unvaccinated people go abroad, they can bring back the disease to US, and that's why. And I show you the number that the CDC report that these measles cases or outbreaks have been increased in recent time. That's why we need an oral vaccine through which we can do mass vaccination, and it will ultimately result in herd, so that the unvaccinated will also get prevented.
You get a chance to judge as well. If you look at the bottom right hand of your side of your program, underneath the list of all the companies presenting, there's a QR code that you can scan to get to a poll where you can vote for your favorite and for our special audience favorite award. And since a lot of the people in the audience are participating companies, we would encourage you to vote for something not yourself, because that's the honor. You can vote wherever you want, but please vote in the audience for your poll. Thank you.
Got it. Run back.
Oops.
Make sure you use the mic.
Yeah.
Is it actually on?
Now it is.
It makes the blue light reveal. All right. By the way, do you want to know the audience here?
You can announce that when we're done, maybe. Do you want to announce that after?
I think I know who it is. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here, and thank you so much to all of our judges. The judges made a decision. Automatically going into the professional level is going to be Nano Dropper. So the judges also selected 4 teams to go into the junior anglers, and they're ranked. So number 1 was Malleus. Are they still here? Oh, you guys can come up. We have something for you. Sorry, that was not clear. So besides getting into walleye tank, we have we have a gift card for you.
Thank you. Super. Wow. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. You guys can sit down. All right. And the second runner-up was Norocog, so they're in Florida. So congratulations. Entering into walleye tank will be UV Canopy. And the final team will be Intelligent Parking Solutions. And then we also were the audience favorites. Everyone voted? All right. And the audience favorite award, who gets this amazing 3D printed walleye trophy, is UV Canopy. Is he not here? What's that? Oh yeah. And then we have student showcase winners as well. Oh yay!
Okay, on the student showcase side of things, we have the first and second place that we're giving out. The first place goes to the Nicaraguan Plaza.
Oh. Whoop. Christine, I still had this one. So that's for the camera. It's for the camera.
Oh, we were supposed to have that on?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'll just hold it. There we go. Okay. Okay. We're doing 2 mics apparently. Okay. And then the second place goes to St. Brennan's Boaters Academy.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to say quickly, thank you so much for coming out today and supporting students who are going to be our next generation of business owners, innovators. They're going to start something in this whether it's in this community or somewhere else, and it's through supporting them that we're going to all benefit. So I'm really glad that everybody came out. I'm glad you guys participated and did this, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Ecker to talk a little bit.
So I want to thank everybody. Thank Christine and your team. Let's give them applause. All right. Yeah.
Actually, in front of the camera. Okay, that's great. Okay. So I just wanted to, I'm Steve Ecker, and I'm really proud that the Office of Entrepreneurship is working with Christine and other members of our community, our wonderful judges, and all of you for helping develop entrepreneurship here and in the region and globally with the impact, especially with Mayo helping drive that. A few key pieces. There's just the evening of December 6th. We actually have a recruiter from IndyBio in San Francisco, which is one of the top biotech accelerators here. She's going to be giving a nice evening presentation at Collider. Is that right?
Or
Business Accelerator.
by the business, thank you, by the Business Accelerator. And I met her, she's awesome, and so she's here to meet and learn. This is a wonderful opportunity to learn about a terrific accelerator where if you get in, you're in for 3 months in California, and they help develop and grow. So we have, for those kinds of activities, there's activities in the morning, and then the event is in the afternoon itself for the pitches. We now know there's 26 pitches this year. It's the highest number. We actually have over 50 presentations that have been feeding in for this process through multiple rounds, including this one. And then the evening, December 7th, is a networking event that we're all sponsoring and help you run through. So I look forward to seeing as many of you as you can there. It's a wonderful opportunity to network and grow. And Amanda and Zachary and I and Jamie, we're all here still a little bit. If you've been accepted for the walleye tank, do you have any questions before we go? Please talk to us. If you're in it, you should be Friday morning in the office hours practicing your pitches. I don't know how many times I can tell you, the winners have gone through, the average winner will have practiced their pitches 8 times on the Friday of the walleye tank. They will have done it 7 times or so in front of all of the one-on-one coaches on the Friday morning. Some will have changed their slides by Friday afternoon. Right? And we have office hours this week. So our job, right, this is just one of the steps in the process. The goal is to help you refine your pitches, your ideas. The event itself is another opportunity to get feedback on pitches. Every one of the participants will get feedback, and we hope to continue to help you grow as entrepreneurs. So thank you for coming. I feel like the food's all gone, so it's time to close up. What do we have?
If you wish to come to Walleye Tank, please go to walleyetank.com and register using the Eventbrite link, or scan the QR code on the inside left.
This side, the left-hand side. And if most phones, you can just click on it and it'll automatically pull up. You don't even need to use a QR reader. So with that, thank you, Zachary. Thanks, Zachary, for helping me with it. And Jamie. And the judges. Thank you very much. And thank you, Florida.
Thank you guys so much for your time.